Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I want to thank you and the House Reapportionment Committee for providing me the opportunity to speak with you today. I also want to thank Leader Abrams for her tireless leadership on this very important issue. Since the Voting Rights Act was passed and signed into law, Georgia and our nation has seen tremendous progress. We have come a great distance from the days of literacy tests, from the days of people standing in unmovable lines, from the days of people being denied the right to vote simply because of the color of their skin. Since passage of the Voting Rights Act, people of color have been elected to positions here in Georgia and throughout the American South. This has not only been good for Black America, but good for all of Georgia, for the American South, and for our entire nation. The Voting Rights Act has been our guide, like the North Star, a beacon in the sky, light in the path through a very dark night. We cannot go back. We must continue to make progress to create a truly multiracial democracy and move us closer to a more perfect union. Unfortunately, the committee has made the decision on its own that Section 5 of the Voting Rights Act does not protect voters in crossover districts from retrogression. There is no court case that says that. This is not a legal requirement. This was a choice by the committee that twisted the Voting Rights Act at the expense of multiracial coalition such as the one I have been proud to represent for more than 20 years. We cannot and we must not say that the Voting Rights Act made us do it. It did not do that and cannot do it. The elimination of multiracial coalition was not and has never been the goal of the Voting Rights Act. I've heard some people say the proposed maps represent resegregation. Some have cautioned against using this word, but we should call it what it is. If it walks like a duck, if it's quacked like a duck, it's a duck. These maps resegregate the state of Georgia. 46 years ago, I gave a little blood on a bridge in Selma, Alabama, so that all people would be able to participate in the democratic process. I was willing to die to guarantee all of our brothers and sisters their constitutional right to representation. Now, as I sit before you today, after nearly 50 years of progress, I said to you that these maps fail to recognize both the letter and the spirit of the Voting Rights Act. And with that, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee, thank you for your time.
Thank you for being here. We have a couple of questions if you take time to answer some. Number 29.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And Congressman Lewis, Edward Lindsay, House District 54. I've had the great honor to be a constituent of yours for about 25 years in North Atlanta, and I want to thank you for your service in Congress and also for your service before that time in the civil rights movement. If I may, I simply want to sort of, I think it's important for me to make a comment to you face to face here today, because I have been an individual representing the northern part of the city of Atlanta that wishes to have a Republican representing part of the city of Atlanta. First off, I want to make sure you understand that that's not in any way meant to be disrespectful to you. I believe that you've been a good advocate for the city of Atlanta. However, I also believe, politics being what it is, that the city of Atlanta would be well served if, in addition to a strong Democratic congressman, advocate for the city of Atlanta, we would also have a strong Republican representing part of the city of Atlanta. So that regardless of who should be in the White House, regardless of which party that individual may be, or for that matter, regardless of who may be in charge of Congress, we will have a strong advocate on both political sides. And I want to assure you that that has been my utmost concern in terms of the negotiations regarding whether or not part of the city of Atlanta was going to be represented by a Republican. I've always held you in very high respect. I've enjoyed working with your office over the last few years while I've been in office, and part of my district will continue to be in your House district, and I look forward to continuing to do so. But I do strongly believe, as I stated a moment ago, that our city, our great capital city, would be very well served if we had both a Democratic and Republican representing part of it, so that we have a strong voice regardless of who's in power in Congress or the White House. So I want to show you that that's been my goal throughout these negotiations. And other than that, I just want to thank you again for your service. Thanks.
I appreciate your comments. It is my hope and prayer that I will continue to represent the entire city. It is my feeling and my belief that the city of Atlanta should stay whole in one congressional district.
We disagree on that respect, sir, but
whatever happened.
But I do have enormous respect for you.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate it.
Number 10.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Representative Earl Earhart, District 36. Thank you, Congressman, for taking your time out to testify. You know, I've been at this a long time. I want to draw your attention. You supported, I have one question just to follow up, if you don't mind, Congressman. You supported the 2001 congressional redistricting plan drawn up by the then Georgia Democratic majority, correct?
Yes, I don't recall opposing it.
Okay. You testified in Ashcroft that the African American districts could be reduced in Georgia because Georgia had come, and your quote was, a great distance, right? And you no longer believe that we're in that same new Georgia you described today, and there's been a transformation, you were quoted as saying in that written testimony in Ashcroft. You said it was an altogether different world. Has your view of that changed today?
Now, I still believe that we've come a distance, that we made a lot of progress, that as a region, not just as a state, that we are in the process of laying down the burden of race, and we should continue to move. We shouldn't move backward. We should continue to create this sense of community, of bringing people together. I think the Georgia African American members in the House have taken a position. They're not fighting and standing up for more African American members. They want to create coalition, blacks and white, and not resegregating this state.
Could that same coalition not vote for a Republican?
Well, we don't have too much of a history that going on right now in this state, in this region.
But they could.
Well, we have a great deal of progress to make in that area.
I would agree. That would
we
be
got to
obvious.
make a lot of steps, and we got to go much faster to make those leaps.
We have similar concerns with that. Thank you, Congressman.
But thank you, sir.
Congressman, that's all the questions. I would also like to echo what's been said. We appreciate everything you've done for the state of Georgia. No. Well, I think we have one more question. Turn her microphone on.
I would just like to say thank you, Congressman. You have been my friend for over 40 years, even when you were working to do voter registration and whatnot, you and your wife. And I appreciate all that you have done. I appreciate you coming before this committee at this time, because the importance of this committee and what we do, I think is so important that's why you came to let us know that the blood you shed so that blacks, whites, blue and green could have a place at the table to do just what we're doing today, but with the hopes that one day, if it's 41% yesterday, that tomorrow we may be able to raise those goals to 42% and not dilute them. And I appreciate you for coming, and I just bless you.
Well, I appreciate your comments. I think as a state and as a region, we must continue to travel down that road to create a multiracial, a truly multiracial society. We are black, we are white, and Latino, Asian American, and Native American. We're one people, we're one family, we're one house. We all live in the same house. Not just the house of Georgia, the house of the South, but the American house, the world house. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Congressman. Next would be Minority Leader Stacey Abrams.